Welcome, Robert. Welcome, Angel. How you guys doing?
Good.
Good. Good, good, good. Gonna be a good call today.
Okay. So it's something broken down. It was supposed to start at 11, right?
11:30.
Okay.
Unless I have totally blown it, these things always start at 11:30, so we'll see. Yeah, it says 11:30 on the calendar. I hope you didn't get
Hello,
an
Tim.
email that said otherwise, but the calendar registration said 11:30, so. But we'll be starting momentarily. Business going good for you? No? Okay. Well, sorry to hear that. Hopefully we can change something there.
Um, I mean, there's a lot more activity, but nobody's putting any money down and buying houses. I mean, like I'm working in real estate, right? So more so than investing, the idea was to learn about the investing and take the
Okay.
real estate money and invest it.
Sure.
Uh, but we're having to hold back right now because everybody else is holding back. Houses are sitting on the market long, long times.
Yep. We're up at what? I can't remember how many days. Were we between 3 and 4 months now? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's 80-ish.
Yeah.
I,
And
I don't I don't follow it on a day by day basis. I'm looking at it in areas. Some areas are over 100 days.
and do you notice in those higher areas, are they higher end homes, higher priced homes?
Um, that doesn't seem to be like it just seems to be locationally more so like I sure a 300,000 is going to go faster than a million anywhere.
Yeah.
But no, and strangely, so I have two listings. One's in Kaufman County, one's in Van Zant County, and stuff out there is just not it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. So I just bought um, one of the biggest rehab deals that I've ever done in Weatherford last
Yeah,
Friday.
yeah.
And when I put it under contract, it was like the day before the war started. Um, and I hope uh, that I hope I don't regret moving forward on that. um, because that I'm not sure what the economy is going to be doing and the job market and so forth, but it is a big house, almost 3,600 square foot and about 200,000 in rehab. But it's a cool house. Isn't that right, Angel? Is that a cool house or what? We did our rehab property walkthrough. Hi, Michelle. We did a rehab property walkthrough on Saturday and showed everybody what we were doing and the condition of the home. And yeah, there's a lot of work to be done.
There's
And
a
I
lot of
have,
work and it's a whole lot of house.
yep.
Beautiful.
And it's got a whole lot of a pool and hot tub that's green. And I pumped it dry this weekend so I can start getting rehab estimates in there on that pool. So, but in the other end of things, we're shooting for contractor says 3 months. I don't believe him because his lips are moving. So I believe it's 4 months at a minimum. And I'm just a little worried about what 4 months from now is going to bring with the war going on and interest rates. They started to go down, and then the war hit, and things have started to go back up a little bit. So I think just the uncertainty may be working against me, but I'm going to have one cool house. This is built 1925, really has a nice look to the
Wow.
front of the house. It's on the group website now if you want to go look. But it's not going to look like that 4 months from now.
Hi, Michelle.
And you have so much land, you can make that into a duplex if you wanted to.
Yeah, if I was going to keep it, I could do a lot of things with it. It could be a ADU. Um, there's a lot of things I could do with it. It is 0.54 acre, so it's a big city lot for sure.
Yes.
Uh,
Corner, everything. I mean, you got your front entrance, and
yep,
then the back entrance can be another front entrance. There's so many ideas and you got so much
there,
land. And that pool where it's at, you can make it into, just a connected backyard for the both
yep,
of them.
yep. We've got parking there for minimum of 12 vehicles unless they're all big Ford dualies or something. But if you went to small, compact, subcompact cars, there's a minimum of 12 parking spaces at that house. So, yeah, there's a lot of space to do a lot of things, which takes a lot of money. So I'm going to have to be paying very close attention to the budget. So I'm trying to check folks in here. So just bear with me as I'm doing that. We'll get this show on the road here shortly. Our speaker has not arrived yet, so hopefully they will show up here in the next minute or two.
Hey Tim, have you considered going commercial with it, considering all the traffic count on that road?
No, I don't have an interest in doing that.
I was just tossing the option out there.
You're really broken up there, Jonathan.
You're going to do 50%. Is this any better?
Nope.
I might just have to use the chat window.
Okay. We'll be answering chat the best I can. It's just me today, so okay. Um, Anybody have any quick questions while we are waiting for the speaker to come on? Welcome, Nanjo, is that how you say it?
Yeah, that's how you say it.
Welcome to the group as a new
Thank you.
member and welcome to the call as well.
Thank you.
Anybody have a quick question while we're waiting for our speaker to sign on today? Glad you're feeling better, Michelle. You were sick, weren't you?
It's good to be in the land of the living for sure.
I understand. Upright is always good. Okay, got a couple more joining us. There she is, our special guest today.
Good morning. How are y'all?
Doing great, doing great. How do I say your name?
Ari.
Ari,
Yes, sir.
welcome.
Thanks for having me.
We're gonna give it just another minute or two. I don't like to start late, but we'll give folks a couple minutes more and we'll get started. We're
Yeah,
looking
no
forward
problem.
to everything you have to teach us today. And we'll see if everybody gets excited.
I sure hope so. I'm excited.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
And
So,
are you in California?
no, sir, I'm from Texas. So I'm based in Texas, yeah.
Well, where are you? I'm in Weatherford.
Oh, so I'm in the San Antonio area.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
cool.
Yeah, so a little a little down south, but it's
Still
getting there.
Texas,
Still
still
Texas,
Texas.
exactly. It's so funny because not to go super off topic, but with just like a personal vacation we're thinking about taking to Colorado or to Cali, it's so funny because still the halfway mark is still in Texas. And it takes me to El Paso. I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yep. We are one big state for sure.
hmm Everyone else, are y'all based in the same areas, Tim?
I think, yeah, everybody's here.
Yeah,
So
gotcha.
we are the West DFW REI group. So we're a real estate investment group. We hold our meetings in Fort Worth. Of course, if we're doing them virtually, then we can do it anywhere, right? So,
hmm
but okay. Well, I think we're going to get this show on the road then. Uh, Welcome to the call, everyone. I think I've met everyone on the call, but my name's Tim Cook, and I am a full-time investor, been buying houses 25 years. Started the West DFW REI group 16 years ago. My hair used to be the color of most of you on the call, and I used to have more of it. So, but it's been fun. Today we're going to talk about tools and in particular PropStream, which has been around a very long time. I, I'll let Ari explain a little more about PropStream as she gives us a good little tour. What I would like to do, I realize that we've got to do the overall review of the tool, but I think everybody on the call would agree that the most important topics that most people are interested in is lead generation and analysis. So if you can spend a little more time on some of that and what PropStream can do for everyone, then we'll be, I think everybody will be excited. We do have a special offer for everyone on the call today. And I just want to say it before I forget it, that in order to take full advantage of this offer, which is going to be an awesome offer, you have to call me or text me in the office to get the details behind registering to take advantage of that offer. Okay. And everybody should have the number. It's on the website, but I'll just give it to you, 817-599-8058. You can call or text, um, and um, and I will respond as quickly as possible, and we'll get you the details you need. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Ari, and everybody else just sit back and have fun and get excited.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Tim.
And I
Appreciate
need
that.
to share screen with you or let you, uh,
Yes, here,
I
let
need to
me.
make you co-host, right?
Yes.
You are now co-host.
Beautiful. Okay. Alrighty, folks. Yeah, like Tim was saying, let's jump in. So, if y'all need just like a quick refresher of what PropStream is, it is going to be a real estate data aggregation software. So, what that means in layman's terms is that we provide not only just our data, which is comprised of MLS data as well as our public record data. So, you get the best of both worlds, right? But it is national. So, like, as much as I'm sure y'all focus in, the DFW area, if you ever want to go out of town, out of state, you can do that with PropStream. So you do have opportunities in your niche market, but also in other niche markets around the different states. So definitely keep that in mind for your future goals. But here, what we're gonna do, like Tim was saying, is I kind of just want to take y'all through the workflow of what you can do with PropStream in terms of looking and searching in those particular markets you're interested in, right? We're gonna go and visit those markets, and to top it off, you are going to be able to utilize PropStream's filters to be able to then niche down and create the scenario you're looking for, right? Because at the end of the day, yes, you can have thousands of leads or, quote unquote opportunities, but they're not going to be specifically opportunities for you per se if you do not put what type of homeowner you're looking for, what type of property you're looking for, right? So that's why I definitely want to highlight those filters because that's where you're going to be able to find those niche opportunities. So let me start up here. I'm going to just zoom in just a little bit so it's a little bit easier to see for everyone. But yeah, let's go. I mean, we can kick it off in Texas. Like, why don't we do the Dallas area perhaps? So let's say Dallas. We can put that up here in our market search. So that will take us to Dallas. And here, what it's saying is that PropStream at this time has over, a little over 376,000 properties, which is awesome, right? But like I said, definitely want to niche down because we want to look for those opportunities that are going to be for my particular business or your particular business.
You don't think we should go market to that 376,000?
I mean, you can do whatever you want to your heart's content, Tim. But I think in terms of the ratio of marketing to actual leads, it might be a little big right there with that ratio.
Yeah. Yeah, you
But
definitely want to. That's one of the great things about these tools and the filters is you can narrow down the focus to really get the best value for the investment, and focus your marketing dollars where you want it to be. So, excellent.
exactly. Yeah. No, thank you for that, Tim. Yeah. And yeah, chime in, folks, if y'all have any questions, like this is your time. If you want to just put your questions in the chat or Q&A, that's okay too. But yeah, please, this time is for y'all. So any questions that might come up, definitely let me know and let Tim know. But yeah, so like I was saying, for this particular niche example, let's go into the filter menu and start putting in what we're looking for. So essentially what you're doing is you're letting the PropStream software know, okay, I'm looking for XYZ homeowner, XYZ property, right? So here in these different categories, you're just going to go in and specify what you're looking for. Here we do have our lead list. These are going to be our top hot markets that you can utilize kind of like a base for your search. So let's say perhaps, in your search of acquiring investment opportunities, maybe you want to focus in on a motivated seller market of senior owners, right? Because here that could definitely be a good base for you with that motivated seller. And then with properties, this is property details. You'll go in and specify what particular properties you're interested in. Do y'all mostly invest in residential, or is there any other types, perhaps?
I think the majority of the group is residential.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So we can go into residential and even specify if we want single family. Here we have a bunch of different multifamily property types too. So again, to your heart's content, you can definitely go in there and choose what you want. What I recommend, little PropStream pro tip here, is that this is going to be dependent on what it is categorized as in the county. So if you by chance know there's like, a property at 123 Main Street, and you're like, well, it is a multifamily, um, 5 plus. Like, I wonder why it's not pulling up or whatever the case may be, right? Well, again, just double check what that is in your county because it is not standardized. So it is going to be based on, the county you're looking in. So definitely just make sure you know what is the classification, and that way you can find those in the market you're interested in. But from there, once you pick your options that you want, you can keep going. I really like highlighting this particular section here with PropStream Intelligence because, again, you're going to want to make the software do the work for you, right? I don't want you guys spending time, having to look at all these MLS photos and being able and having to, sit there and decide, okay, is this a good investment opportunity for me? Is this a particular property that is going to give me that profit that I'm looking for? Do I need to do any rehab projects? XYZ, right? So instead, you can go to PropStream Intelligence and utilize property condition, and that way you're letting the software do that work for you. with this condition filter, it is using our AI learning algorithm, and that's going to look at the MLS photos for you. So let's say, again, maybe in this particular situation, I don't want to have a rehab opportunity on my hands, right? I want to make sure that it's rent ready and it's good to go as soon as I purchase it. So maybe I can do minimum as average, and that way I don't have that rehab project on my hands, right? That way I just get those out of the way and I can filter those down. And as you can see, I think we started with 100K and now we're already niching down to, 6,100. So that's getting me there to a good lead list that is, again, going down to the niche that I'm looking for. But again, you just keep going down, right? Let's say, maybe you only want to look for off-market opportunities. You can do that here since we do offer that public record data. So we can check mark this if we want to look for off-market opportunities. And then here with pre-foreclosure and bank owned, this could be another good way to really look for those motivated sellers, right? Definitely look into in terms of a property owner's situation, right? Because financial distress definitely going to make that motivation more, right, for that seller. So that is something that y'all can look into in regards to pre-foreclosure. Here we also have owner info and occupancy. Again, really great way to define what homeowner you're looking for. So in this particular situation, like maybe you only want to work with individuals, or you can, mix and match here of what type of owner you want to work with. And here you can also check off if you want, again, another motivator would be if it's vacant or if it's not owner occupied. Because again, my base is senior owners, right, in this particular situation. If they're having a secondary property that they're not even using, that it's vacant, again, just adding into that particular ability of creating that homeowner you want to reach out to, right? And that situation. So maybe we could do like vacant, yes. And
So
then,
Ari, if
Mhm.
you don't mind, I'd like to just make a comment before I forget this.
Yeah.
Everybody noticed that the orange button in the upper right-hand corner with the number of properties.
Mhm.
My recommendation is what I like to do is when I'm about to click on another filter, I want to watch that button or that number in the top right corner when I click the new filter because it could be if you miss that and you're moving on and start clicking other filters and stuff, you don't know what the impact is to that. So I always like to watch because if you have too many filters, a lot of times it may zero it out. It may not like it. So keep an eye on that orange button in the top right corner as you're clicking each new filter.
No, I love that you brought that up, Tim, because I like to highlight that too, is that sometimes less is more, right? Yes, in a perfect world, we would want to be able to reach out to the quote unquote perfect seller, the perfect buyer, right? But again, the market isn't always looking out for what's perfect for us. It's just going to give us what it can give us, right? So yeah, definitely take a look at that because even right now, right, I'm at 5,400 opportunities, but whereas when I put vacant, it goes down to 84, right? And maybe that is good for some 84 property list, it can be a good opportunity for someone to keep going and they like it like that. But if you're someone that wants to have more opportunities, and if this filter isn't a make or break for you, like Tim's saying, definitely keep an eye on that. That way you can know what filters are going to affect your outcome. And you can always do that here too. At the bottom left, we do show all applied filters. And that way you're able to see which ones you have, which ones you can take off if you want with the X, or even edit with the edit button. So yeah, just little helpers here and there, right, throughout the system that's going to help you make sure that you're able to niche down, but also have control of where you're looking at, who you're looking for. Another thing I recommend is if you ever want to keep rerunning a search and not wanting to come in and constantly redo that search manually, what you can do is click on save up here with this orange button, and you can save this search. So if this is something you want to revisit over and over again, you can just name it, Dallas senior owners, and then you can even put the details regarding the search, and you can also get emails when new properties become available. So that way, again, it's just less work for you, less hassle, less stress, and you're letting the software do that, assistant type work for you. And that way you can choose when you want to be updated, and then you can click save. And then just like that, you'll be able to find it in the save search area, and you can just click on it, and then it'll take you to that search. So, like I said,
Cool.
little pro tip right there is being able to use that save search. But as we continue on, right, we can go into like value, we can go into mortgage. These are other really great filters that again can really specify that niche, that particular homeowner that you're looking for. Maybe you want to work with a particular estimated percentage of equity of the homeowner. So maybe you only want to work with homeowners that have 70% or more, right? You can do that here. And then we are really known for our mortgage data. This could be another good motivation to sell, right? That they have number of open mortgages, they have a remaining balance that they have to deal with. They just want to get rid, right? Same thing goes for like liens, bankruptcies, and divorces. That could be another, financial stressors that can lead you to those motivated sellers. But for right now, let's say I'm happy with my filters. I want to go check out the results. I can click on the icon up here that Tim was referring to with the number of results I have. And here it's going to showcase those for me on the map, as well as on the right-hand side with the results. And what's great in here, folks, is that if you look into a particular market of state or singular zip code, you can check out the stats for that particular market. So because we are in Dallas, I searched that as my market, right? Here it's going to showcase those stats and trends for me. This is again really good to just see what's happening in the market, right? What's going on, whether it's foreclosures or the pricing trend, whatever the case may be. I think this is definitely a good way to segue into the property analysis, to the market analysis section of your phase, right? Of your workflow. So that way you're able to start saying, okay, like, well, what is going on in this market? Is it beneficial to me or not? Where can I look into this? So
All right,
definitely,
can you show us where you got the statistics again? Where did
yeah.
you click on that?
Oh yeah. So here at the bottom of the map, it'll say statistics for either a city
Okay,
or
I see.
singular one. And
Yep,
then you can just click on this arrow right here and it'll pull it up for you.
thank you.
Yeah, of course. If you ever need to print it, you can do that too, or save it to your laptop. Whatever the case, definitely utilize this print button here too. But nonetheless, here in the results page, you can click on the different values of the properties. If you're looking at off-market opportunities, it is going to be the estimated value that you'll be seeing with that price. If it's an currently on market, it's on a listing on some MLS site, it is going to showcase the listing price. So just keep that in mind that if you see estimated value, that means it's off market. And so here, what's great about these map cards, you can definitely just have like, a sneak peek of those properties that you are interested in. So here you can check out, estimated loan balance, last sale, even the 1 year value change, estimated equity, just to give you again that glimpse of these properties. And if you want, you can definitely look at those MLS photos too. That way you can just have a good sense of like, okay, what's going on here in this particular property? How does it look? And then here on the right-hand side, a little familiar, right? A little similar to the map cards, but with these search cards here, you're going to see a little bit different information, such as the estimated loan balance, a little bit more property characteristics, and that way, again, just giving you that sneak peek of those leads that you might be interested in. And so once you check out this information, you look into the map, right? You can zoom in if you want. Maybe there's like a particular section in Dallas that you only want to work in or you're interested in. So maybe we can even look at the analytics map. Very, very awesome tool here in the search page. This is going to be a heat map where you'll be able to look at different values in the market, such as like a fan favorite is price growth, and you can choose how long you want that period to be. So, like, let's say again, I'm an investor acquiring in Dallas. I want to look at where is it going to be the most growth in the value of these properties, right? And let's say we do the next 3 years. Here I can check out that, okay, well, in the heat map, definitely want to look for orange, red, that deep red, because that's going to signify the most growth in those 3 years, right? So I can check out here, okay, well, it looks like in this particular area of Dallas, oops, sorry, it looks like that is the most orange and red, right? So I can utilize the draw tool and be able to make a fence around that and be able to say, okay, well, I'm only interested in these particular properties. Let me make a fence around them. And then once I click search, again, it's going to niche down even more for me. I know originally I had about 2,700 properties, but now I'm looking at uh these opportunities that go further than that, right? That are are indicating that 3 year growth of maximum growth in the Dallas market that I'm interested in. So then now I've now niched down to 733 properties. So again, very, very awesome tools here in the map and search section with the statistics and trends for your analysis, those map cards that you can check out the information, the sneak peeks of the properties, and then definitely recommend the analytics button with the draw tool. Very deadly combo, I'd like to say, because you're really able to niche down on what you're looking for, perhaps future profit, future situations for you.
Hey, Ari,
Mhm.
on that estimated value for any particular property, I'm assuming that's based on comps. Are you able to pull up the individual comps for each property?
Yeah, so if you ever see an address in the system, you can click on it. This is going to open up the property details page. So this is where you'll be able to find that comping tool cell. And here you'll find it under comparables and nearby listings. So that way you're able to, look for comps. You can even filter down with our filters for the comping tool. Here you can specify if you want it to be, the range to be like half a mile, whatever the case may be, right? I know in Dallas it's a very urban, so maybe, half a mile is fine, but perhaps like in a rural area, you might want to go bigger, right? Just because there's like more farmland, bigger parcels, etc. So yeah, definitely come in and check out the comping tools out because that's where you're going to be able to look at those results of the comping of the comps of the property. And then what's even great, another little pro tip here, folks, if you're ever wanting to use the comping tool, you can click on actions and then view comp report. That's going to download a free PDF of these comps with that report. It's going to showcase the different comps as well as the property characteristics of the subject property, a comps map, and then, like I was saying, a list of the comps that you'll be able to see and share with anyone you might need, an assistant, a business partner, or perhaps even the seller themselves, because once you get into that conversation of, okay, well, you're offering me XYZ amount. Why is that? Right? They're going to be asking, why are you offering me this? Maybe I want more. Then, well, you can pull up the receipts, right? Be like, well, hey, Mr. Doe, I was looking at the comps. This is what's been selling in your area. I can send this over to you for you if you want. That way you can understand my offer. So it's just, yeah, go ahead, Tim.
All right, I see that it's a PDF file.
Mhm.
Is there also the ability to share it via a link?
Ooh, that's a good question, Tim. At this time, not a link because I suppose like that would be good if homeowner or, whoever you need to share to has a PropStream account, what you could do in terms of the comping results you have at the moment, you would need to download as the comp report. But
Okay.
if you want to share this particular property, subject property, you could just copy and paste that link that you are in at the moment. But
And that only works though if they have an account.
correct. Because then they would just open up that link and it would take them here to the property details page.
Okay.
Oh.
And then one other question on,
Mhm.
I see it that under data set, public records, MLS or both. In
Mhm.
the MLS, what data do you have? Do you have actual sold MLS numbers?
So that's what I like that you brought that up because with us being a non-disclosure state,
Right.
we definitely recommend if that's the case, then get MLS comps. Because as I mean, I'm sure everyone knows, but if not, with Texas being a non-disclosure state, you're not going to be able to get the public records of like the exact sale price, right? It's not disclosed to the public. So that's why we offer, either or both for just depending on your situation. I recommend in this case, if you're staying in Texas or any other non-disclosure state, go with the MLS because that's going to be where we get our sale prices from the MLSs.
Thank
So are
you.
you saying that you actually do have sold information from the MLS in the software?
Yes, sir.
Oh, great.
Hmm. Yeah, we've been working hard with our MLS partners and just, as the months, years go on, we're gonna be like solidifying that more and more just with our relationships with them.
Earlier, when you were going over on market, off market, can you explain a little bit more about how you come up with the off market properties in the system?
Yeah, of course. So let me just showcase and is it Sal? Just want to make sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. All right. So what Sal's talking about, y'all, is when you go to the MLS section of your filters, here we have on or off market, right? So this is going to be, it, of course, if it's on an MLS side, if it's currently a listing, that'll be under on market. The reason we're able to provide off-market opportunities or, properties is because we have that public record data in our system. So that means we have MLS data, but also data straight from the counties nationwide. So that's why we're able to provide that information, right? Of, the mortgage, the taxes, whatever you see here in the property details page that's not MLS, that's all straight from the county. So, the tax info, the linked properties, the documents and reports to mortgage. If you see there, if you ever see a PDF icon, that means you have the ability to purchase that particular document or that way, like, if you have any questions about, okay, well, what occurred in 2016 whenever they bought the property, it looks like it was a vendor's lien. What does that, entail? I want to know. For only $5, you can purchase that document, and that way you can know what happened in that particular situation. Um, but yeah, no, the good question. I think that's what's one of the many great things about PropStream is that we're able to provide both types of data. So that way, if you want to look for on-market opportunities, you can. But if you want that off-market opportunity, you can go for that too, Sal.
So just clarification for everybody, I think, correct me if I'm wrong.
Hmm.
When you say off market, you're just talking about all of the properties that are out there, but it doesn't mean that it's for sale. It just means it's an off-market property. Here's the data for those properties. You're not saying it's for an off-market for sale property.
Correct. So that's that's where I like to highlight the fact that yes, it potentially, right? Potentially that owner might not be interested in selling at all, right? We have
Right.
to understand that. But the reason why we like to highlight and offer that opportunity of off-market opportunities is because you're going to get ahead of the competition, right? Here, let's say if there is 123 Main Street is on the MLS sites, there's a bunch of eyes on them. There's a bunch of investors, of other, just regular home buyers looking into that. Whereas if you're looking at off-market opportunities, you're the one that's going to be able to go in and get a conversation with that homeowner first, or, the one of the first, right? So that's why it's a good way to go if you're looking for more opportunities, for more the ability to get in contact with someone who you're able to create a connection with, build that rapport, right? And then offer the amount you want to offer based on their comparables, based on the history of the property, right? The condition, all that, all those variables that come in to determine the offer you're putting in, right? But that, again, is the way you're able to get ahead of the competition by looking into those off-market opportunities, by looking at people who, yeah, not necessarily are selling right now, but that doesn't mean that they don't want to, or that they don't want to work with you. It's just a matter of finding those motivations, those motivating
Right.
factors of selling. And that
So
way, Mhm.
so on these off market, if you just stack the motivation factors, could you kind of go over what motivation factors on these off market that works best for trying to nail in somebody who's possibly high probability of selling, even though they may not be aware of it?
Exactly, right? So like I was saying, right, going back to I would say specifically financial stresses, right? They have multiple mortgages, they have liens, and this is something you can check out here in the mortgage and debt area just like as a quick reference, like hey, do they have any open mortgages? Do they have any liens? Are they also like looking at if it's occupied or not, right? You can check that out here in the characteristics section. Here you can check out, okay, well, in this one particular, it is occupied. But, let's say if they're maybe perhaps a tired landlord, right? They're a senior owner that they've owned it for, 15 plus years, but with the tired landlord status, that is going to be a lead list you can also check out. Here under lead list, where are you? Tired landlords. This is going to indicate where the property is also vacant, but that it's not owner occupied. So they've had it for a long time, it's not occupied, and they don't have any tenants. So again, it's just something that they're throwing money at, right? With renovations, keeping up with all the regulations and whatnot. So being able to then look for those motivating factors, right, of financial distress or even physical distress of the property, right? And then once you get that involved in your search, that is where the rest follows, right? Those other indicators of motivation, those other indicators that, hey, maybe it's time to sell. And with the right person, which could be you, right? You can reach out to them and then be able to build that rapport and then offer that deal. And that's again where PropStream comes in handy because here you can skip trace a property. And here, like let's say if you look at this 6124 St. Andrews Drive. You're like, yep, this is the house for me. I want this as my new investment opportunity. I checked out the comps. I know the number I want to offer. I want to get in touch with them now. So what you could do right away is click on save property here, save it to your properties or whatever marketing list you want. And then we do have this option to just skip trace right away. So once you do that, folks, for anyone who might not be familiar with skip tracing, it is a feature in the software that's going to help you find that contact information of the homeowner. So that's going to be different types of phone numbers as well as different types of emails. So that way you can get in contact with them in multiple ways, right? So here, this is just like the typical window of skip tracing where you'll name your list. Here you can see the order details, right? I'm skip tracing one. But if you notice, it does showcase that I'm skip tracing for free, right? That's because I'm on the elite plan. So for any one of y'all that might be on the pro or elite plan, you do get free skip tracing included with your plan. If you're perhaps on our most basic plan, it's called the Essentials plan. You are still having a very competitive rate of 10 cents per contact you skip trace that comes back successfully. But if you're interested in that free skip tracing, I highly recommend looking into your settings of your account and you can or not download, but add the lead automator. And that's going to be a 2-week free trial. It's going to be the feature that helps you automate your lists so that way you don't have to. So you're going to have fresh leads all the time with that. That's the main purpose of the lead automator, but you do get other benefits. If we have time, I can definitely go over them, but one of them is going to be that free skip tracing.
And you can also do business skip tracing too, right? Not just individual.
Yes, 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 you can. So here, let me look. I can show y'all a example. So once you skip trace a list or a property, folks, you can go to, particularly if it's a property, you can check out that information in the property details page where we were just at. But let's say you want to look at a whole list of contacts, definitely recommend going to your marketing list or your contacts tab. This is going to showcase just the skip tracing data. So let me pull up, here we go. There should be some LLCs here, but here you see an example of a skip trace list. It's going to showcase those different phone numbers, the different emails, and then of course, the name and the property address, the mailing address of the homeowner. And like Sal was saying, we do offer the um, individual and business public entity type skip traces. So yes, you can skip trace, LLCs, trusts, etc. You can do that here with PropStream.
Ari, if I could, like to throw in something else for everybody.
Mhm.
Sal got me thinking about this. Um, Ari was showing you how you can go in the property card and look at all the different data and stuff pertaining to that seller or the house. Um, I personally, you're not going to want to do that with every property that you pull in this list, especially if it's a big list. It's a different story if you've got a small list, but you're going to spend so much time looking at every one of those property cards and making a decision if you want it or not. Whereas if you just focus on the filters that Ari was showing you, and seniors and the size and age of the home, how long they've owned that home. Do you have the ability to identify two-story homes too?
Yeah, that
Okay.
was so funny
So
that because that is one I typically do with senior owners
that
of
is
the.
another excellent target for senior citizens, two-story home that have owned it for 20, 30 years because they may have health issues. They haven't been upstairs to clean the house in,
Yeah.
probably 10 years. So it's a good target. So you got to trust in the filters that you pick and then get the list in the mail, or skip trace, whichever way you're going to go. But if you
Mhm.
spend a lot of time trying to look at every single property on 1,000 house list, you're going to waste a lot of time. So, uh, just something for you to think about. Don't spend too much time trying to look at every single property that you pull up in a list.
No, yeah, definitely, Tim, because I mean, again, at the end of the day, we want to minimize the time and efforts you put into this, right? We want to make sure that your workflow is as seamless as possible. But like Tim's saying, we have to meet each other halfway because you need to be able to utilize these features as as well versed as you can. And I think I think the basics is being able to understand who you're looking for and who you want to niche down to. Because once you're able to do that, I mean, even with this, right, of doing the senior owners of, residential properties with 2 stories or more, being off market, and kind of going back to Sal's question of, well, if they're off market, does that potentially mean they're not interested? Yeah, it might mean that. But more often than not, folks, honestly, and this is from, even personal experience, people don't know that there's more opportunities out there than just listing a house on an MLS. Most people don't know that. Most people don't know about these real estate transactions that can occur off those MLS sites, right? So it's just a matter of being able to contact who you're looking for and perhaps even, educating them a little bit on the matter of like, hey, I understand that you've owned this house for 30 years, how get to know more about them. Okay, wow, yeah, you are having, the ability to have a house that has 2 stories and you have perhaps, 3 bedrooms or more and just the house is too big for you. There's 2 stories. You're telling me that it's a pain to go up and down those stairs every day. You're far away from your family. You're alone with this big house. You're an empty nester. Let me help you, right? Let's help each other. I want to make sure that I want to give you an offer. I want to be able to purchase this property. But, at the end of the day, like I really love that about investors, especially that y'all are going out there and changing lives. Like seriously, y'all are able to go in and be able to just change the trajectory of someone's life, of being able to get out of a house that they didn't think they could, right? To
Yeah.
pay off a mortgage they didn't think they could, or a lien, whatever the case may be.
And then there's part two, Sal, and for everybody. Once you find the perfect list, make sure that you create your marketing message that focuses on that target. So, for example, the list that Ari was just talking about with seniors and two-story homes and health issues, you want to have a whole list of those types of people, and then you want to have a special postcard or letter or email or all the above that you're using that focuses just on that. Don't be mixing in a probate message. Don't be mixing in an ugly fixer-upper or a job transfer, things like that. You want to target that seller's niche, and why they need to sell. But don't try. That's the great thing about getting a very niched list. Now you can have a very niched message. Okay. So when you go build a list for pre-foreclosures, that's all you want to talk about is pre-foreclosure. You don't want to talk about um, health issues and probate and things like that. So just be careful you create the right message for the list you created.
Yeah, no, exactly. Very, very awesome tips from Tim, guys. So definitely, I see some people writing that down, and I think that's good because I think once you're able to decide on the niche you're looking for, the property owner you're looking for, I think the rest, it just makes the rest of your workflow easier. Because here, like for example, what Tim was saying is, hey, once you know who you're looking for and who you're going to contact, that's gonna be the main focus of your marketing, right? So let's say like after you skip trace, you're able to get, emails, those phone numbers. So once you have that skip trace list, you can go to this tab labeled campaigns, and this is where all the marketing magic occurs. This is where you can send out emails for only 2 cents per email. You can send out postcards. Those are going to be a la carte as well, but it does depend on the bundle size as well as the postcard size, but it can be as cheap as 48 cents. So definitely check that out too. And do offer free landing pages for your campaigns. So perhaps, right now you're not able to have a website or, whatever the case may be. Maybe you want to have just like a particular landing page for a specific seller you're trying to, get in contact with. You can have that free landing page and create it. This one's regarding, I believe, pre-foreclosure. So this one's just an example of like niching down. Trying to work with pre-foreclosure homeowners, and they have old and antique homes. So this is where, again, just going back to like niching down, being able to get your message clear across, right? So that's what you can do with the landing page, and of course, right, the emails, your postcards. I believe with my emails and postcards, these are regarding tax delinquencies. So I'm able to, again, niche down, specify, hey, I know your situation, let me help, right?
And you can also write blogs for each of those topics as well
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
educate the sellers.
Yeah, exactly. No, I like that idea, especially like maybe even having like the like perhaps like a QR code on the postcard, there's just so many different ways you can market nowadays. But I think being able to niche down and know your seller, like know who you're working with, is gonna make them feel more seen, more open to working with you, right? Another thing we've added too is I'm not sure if y'all have had time to play around with the software, but we do have a built-in dialer now in PropStream. So that is part of our marketing campaigns as well. You can dial in. Keep in mind though, this is a benefit of that lead automator that I was talking about. So this is available to the Pro and Elite plans. If you're on that Essentials plan, just make sure to get that add-on. It's only $27 more a month, and that way you're able to get the benefit of automated lists, the free skip tracing, and this we call it the click to dial feature. And I say click to dial because it's really easy. As soon as you have your skip trace list and you have those phone numbers in front of you, you can just call right away. And that is here in available in your campaign section. That way it's just all in one place, right? All your marketing. Here you can call your current lead and then even put like a status, right? I put for this particular situation that I was going to follow up with this homeowner, and then I put property tags. I can put notes that, hey, I offered 240, but I'm going to follow up on, March 10th. And so once I'm able to put that in, that's nice is that if you ever go visit the property details again of the subject property, those tags and statuses are going to be in here for you. So kind of think of them like sticky notes. Once you're able to add them in the dialer campaign, or vice versa, if you want to do that in a property details page, you can do that here with the orange button, which is the tags and status. And here you can do the same thing of updating those sticky notes for you. And then, of course, even check out the status log, right? You can see what occurred of those notes, who did it, in case you have any team members, you can know, hey, who changed the note here today? Why did they put that? Oh, John Doe did, my assistant. Okay, good to know. But yeah, so you definitely take advantage of that because I think it's, very imperative, right? To keep updated with your leads and know where the conversation went and where it's going, whenever you follow up with them or, just revisit the subject property. But yeah, like I was saying, with that click to dial, you are able to have the dialer campaign here in the campaigns, marketing campaigns. But also, if you ever have a skip traced contact, here, let me see. Okay. Oh my goodness, sorry. Let me go here. Okay, perfect. So I also wanted to show y'all what it would look like if you have a skip traced marketing list and you also want to see the property data. So you want to see both information, the contact info and the property data. I recommend going to My Properties then and choosing that marketing list you skip traced. That way you can see that contact info, right? Like how we saw in the contacts tab. But now you're also going to be able to see that data of the property, right? And if you click on an address, right, it pulls up that property details page we've been seeing. But if you see here where it showcases that contact info, with that click to dial feature, you can just immediately click on a phone number too inside the details page and call right then and there. So that way, if you're on the phone with them and you just want to do like singular calls, you can do that right away and be able to be in the property details page and just going through the information with them, right? Like if they're like, well, I don't know, like my taxes are, yeah, like I've been struggling with taxes recently, and if you see, well, this particular situation, that's a really good deal, right? 686 a year. But let's say like we can see that it's increasing, right? So maybe let's say it's like 6,000 and it's going up and we're like, well, you're retired. I know you're on a set income with SSI, XYZ, right? Like, is this something you feel like you can still afford in the future? Well, I don't know, Miss Castro. I don't think so. Like, it is something that's been weary on my mind and it's really stressing me out. I also have an open mortgage and I still gotta pay 100K. Oh yeah, I see. Like you have 129 left. Your rate is 357. It's just gonna keep that conversation going, right? You're gonna be able to know again what they're dealing with, and it's going to help you through that analysis of, hey, is this a good opportunity for me? Is this a good opportunity for them if we are able to make that deal? So,
It's pretty nifty having all that info.
yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, because, I know some people have rebutted me and saying, well, I can go on MLS sites and I can go to the county and get all this info. And I'm like, yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, this is information you can get from both different places, but what you're getting here is the convenience that it's all in front of you and you're not having to spend time collecting that data. Because I've done it personally with just one property, and sometimes that information can take weeks to get from the county, right? It's a headache. So that's why I really like highlighting that, hey, we get the best of both worlds. Definitely take advantage of it, especially in the property details page when you're looking at a subject property.
Yeah, I like how it's all right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, you get those like kind of, like little nice like note cards, right? Like whenever you're taking notes, these are like the basic information, of what's going on with the property. But if you want more of those nitty-gritty details, definitely come in to these different tabs we have here for y'all. And that way you can see that information.
Length of ownership, 27 years and 3 months.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that's something that, you're not going to be able to find on your own, right? Of going to the county, waiting on that, waiting for people to email you back and purchasing there. But instead, you come in here, you already see most of the info. If you want more nitty-gritty details of, let's say, the mortgage or any transactions, you can purchase them here. And then even in documents and reports, let's say you're working out a deal with this homeowner, you can add documents. So like let's say you want to attach your contracts or whatever documentation you're going to start, handling with this deal, you can put that in too, just so you have it all in one convenient place.
Nice. Okay.
Of course, but let's see. I'm gonna just double check. I think in the chat we're good, no questions, but yeah, I
Yeah, I
just want
think
to take a oh, go ahead.
nothing in the chat. Does anybody have any questions for Ari?
Yeah, hey Ari, on your pre-foreclosures, are those based on the notice of defaults going out at the courthouse, or are you guys able to get like credit bureau data where you can get like where they're 1 month late, 2 month late, that kind of stuff before the NOD comes out?
So this is going to be in regards to the county data, Sal. So here you'll be able to see or search like let's like yeah, we can take a look here. So here with include, this is where you can go for that notice of default, but we can also even check like if you just want to, work on auctions, right? Or default releases, or even just work with bank-owned properties, you can choose what you want to see. And then you can even go in further with the details of like the recording date, or, maybe you want to go to an auction, you can put, okay, well, I want to go this weekend from the 20th to the 22nd, whatever the case may be, right? And then that way, once you have that auction date in mind, you can go see that in the property details of when it's going to occur and where. And then even to further specify with that, you can put opening bid amount. I know it's tip at least specifically with tax delinquencies and tax liens if you were to purchase a particular property with that situation from an auction that is gonna, just and I'm sure y'all know, right? Like just keep in mind that, part of thing is gonna go towards that to pay that off. And then you're gonna be able to like in particularly like the rest of that, the profit goes to the seller. So again, it's just a matter of, what situation do you want to be in? Who do you want to work with, and what analyses you need to get there, right? In terms of utilizing the software. And then the rest follows suit, right? You're going to be able to conduct those skip traces to get their contact info. Then you're going to be able to, market towards those homeowners of, the different campaign tools I was talking about, right? That postcard, emails, the dialer too, right? So it's just a matter of like, how do you want your workflow to go and what tools you want to go along the way to get that deal. So, and I'm really like happy that we provide such a variety of tools because let's say like, in particular with like marketing, right? Not everyone can, maybe afford, sending out constantly postcards, but you know what? I can send out 2 cent emails. I can afford that, right? And there's just different ways that you're able to utilize the software and be able to push out your marketing. And I think that's another thing I'm really proud of is that it's very budget friendly. Whether it's the postcards, the emails, even the dialer, right? For only $27 more a month, if you're on the Essentials plan, you get that click to dial feature. You get the free skip tracing, the automated lists, etc. So, it,
And just a note for everybody, you need to what I call diversify your marketing, just like you would with any investment, with stocks, mutual funds, that kind of thing. You want to diversify. And what I mean by that here with marketing is that not everybody is going to respond to an email. Not everybody is going to respond to a text or a postcard or a letter. They're all going to be different. So you need to utilize all of these things and tie them all together. And sellers will see that it all makes sense if you're tying it all together. So, websites, blog posts, Google reviews, email marketing, postcards, all of that stuff. Now, do you have to do it all today? No. But you do have to work on implementing all these different ways of communicating.
yeah, no, yep. I love that you bring that up, Tim, because what I tend to see is that let me pull it up actually. So let's say in marketing you're checking out your list, you're checking out your properties, and here let me pull up a good one. Let's see. I like this one. This one's my favorite. So here, for example, with like senior owners, you know, we'll be able to see that, hey, with the demographics involved, um, this is going to be most likely, who we're targeting. We're able to see, what is the high education level achieved? What's the household composition? This is, if maybe perhaps you're looking to invest in a rental, we can check here percentage of owners versus renters. Okay, we can see that, hey, it's a little bit, almost 50-50. It's skewing a little bit more towards renters, so maybe this could be a place of growing rental space. If I had a limit of like, no, I want it to be really renter heavy, I want to be able to make sure that I am gonna have the ability to like have people interested in being a tenant. I want to make sure this is a larger percentage. Okay, moving on from this one, right? But let's say perhaps like just going back to marketing, maybe you don't have senior owners as your base. Maybe you just have let me see. Okay, I'm just gonna click this one for example because I don't think it's senior owners. Another little pro tip, if you ever want to see what filters you used for your marketing list, you can come under here underneath the marketing list name and click on view list filters and it'll showcase it for you. But yeah, this one I did not use senior owners. Okay, perfect. So let's say I'm interested in this particular subject property. Um, and then here, through my property analysis, and also check out demographics. And this is going to be able to show me 8 different data sets. Again, with that owner versus renters, even types of housing, income brackets. But I also wanted to highlight population by age group because I would say this one, along with, even household composition, can really help you through that analysis of deciding, okay, how should I market towards these homeowners? If I see here that, okay, it looks like the majority is, elder millennials as well as who's that? Gen X, I believe, after millennials. So these are my 2 generations that I'm by a landslide, right, are in that population that are making up most of that population. So just, keep in mind is what I like to say is that, okay, well, with millennials, you know, they'll probably answer a call, but I'm sure they're going to answer more likely to, let's say, emails because they grew up on messaging and sending out emails. Um, And then with, Gen Xers or even older, perhaps, like that's something that, maybe they're gonna want to receive postcards or emails instead. Or, like maybe if they're senior owners or if they're making more of the population with Gen Xers, they grew up on always talking on the phone with their friends, right? They're gonna feel more nostalgic and, feel more at ease if they're on a phone call versus getting a text message, right? Or getting an email. So again, it's just going back to like analyzing your market, analyzing the neighborhood, right? Because here with the demographics, you can go as close as mile radius to the property, as well as up to 10 miles radius. So you can see either the that section of the town or even go super niche and see what the neighborhood is made up of for surrounding that particular property, right? So again, just really want to highlight that with your property analysis will naturally evolve and showcase the importance of marketing analysis too. So that way you can go in and market, and like how Tim was saying, like be able to diversify and see where you need to put most of your efforts into, you know.
That's really good insight on that, what you just went through.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that I like that the age brackets and neighborhoods and stuff.
Yeah.
That's good. The other thing you might consider, I just thought of while you were talking, is that what's one of the reasons why you continue mailing to people 5 to 7 times? You want to familiarize them with your name and your message, right? You want to get them used to seeing your name and message. Just think if you combined not just your direct mail, but you combined a blog post with the same message in a website with the same message, and maybe a text message. Oh, by the way, don't use a phone or text number that's caller unknown. You're going to get 0 answers and responses. Put your company name or your personal name on that caller ID so people know who's calling them, because otherwise they're going to think you're a telemarketer or spam. But try and tie all those messages together, an email in conjunction with a phone call or um, um, a postcard or a letter so that they're used to seeing your company name and your message on how you can help. So, okay, I think Ari, you've done a great job. Did you have any other um, gotta have it kind of tips for us?
Well, just to finish off that lovely advice you were saying, Tim, in terms of, diversifying and also in particular when you were saying, hey, don't use like an unknown caller. Make sure you have a particular phone number set to reach out to these homeowners. As of right now, I can't say for the future we don't have a texting marketing at the moment, SMS marketing, but in regards to the click to dial feature I was talking about, folks, whenever you finally have the lead automator on your account, because again, it gives that benefit of the in-house dialer, right? You can then set up your call numbers here. You're gonna get 3 numbers that you can replace every 7 days. So right now, I can actually change them for y'all, just so y'all can see this. But here, you're gonna be able to choose the particular state you want to be in. So that way, let's say, Texas, of course, and then the area code. That way you don't get marked as spam. That way you don't get marked as unknown caller, right? They're gonna see, hey, this is, I'm in San Antonio, I'm gonna put 210. When I see that too, like personally, I'm like, hey, is this my doctor? Is this someone important? I need to, make sure I pick up the call, right? Once you do that, you're then able to have the ability to get through versus other competitors that might not be using a familiar area code for that subject owner or subject property, right? So here, once you confirm, like I said, you can change these numbers every 7 days, but you don't have to. And once you do that, again, you're able to then call. They'll see that phone number that's calling them here with the 3. With the click to dial, you can go up to 150 calls a day. So it is for smaller scaling. If you do want to make higher volume calling, then I highly recommend doing the push to batch dialer, but you will need a batch dialer account for that. And I can talk about that in a bit, but I just wanted to say here for lastly regarding the click to dial that you get those 3 phone numbers, you get to choose that area code and replace it every 7 days, but you can also put a call forwarding number. So this just means, how are they going to call me back if they have any questions or we want to continue the conversation? You can set up, your business number, personal number, whatever number you want to put in there. So I'll just put, a business number real quick. And once I do that, that is how they'll be able to call me back and be able to, like I said, continue building that rapport, building that connection, and, hopefully landing that deal, right? So I just wanted to tie that up with what Tim was saying in terms of being able to market out towards them in this particular situation, with the dialer, with calling, right? And being able to get through with those anti-spam features because you're not going to be calling from a spam number. You're going to be calling from their area code. So, yeah, just want to say that. If you do want the higher scale, higher volume calling, like I call, definitely look into Batch Dialer. We do have um a nice opportunity for y'all as homeowner, or I'm sorry, as PropStream users. If you go here in your tabs, you can click on Batch Dialer. This is going to give you the opportunity to try out the batch styler for 7 days for free. You get free live onboarding sessions. And because you're a PropStream user, we do offer y'all 20% off for life if you decide to keep the dialer. So no harm, no foul, and you get that 20% off with the live onboarding sessions. So just wanted to push that out, give that to y'all in terms of anyone who wants to do more higher scaling volume calling, but you can always choose the click to dial as well for 150 calls or less a day.
That was pretty generous offer on that.
Yeah, of course. We want to make sure that you're able to, get ahead with your workflow, with your deals. And I think with the dialer, if you want to start with the higher calls, with the, being able to transition to that, yeah, we want to make sure that y'all have the best available and we can help y'all in any way we can. Um, which brings me to my last portion of the presentation, real quick, folks. But I just want to let y'all know that, I'm sure Tim has he could probably give y'all tips all day about PropStream and how you can finesse that. But if you ever just want, a good visual representation of, hey, how do I do XYZ of utilizing particular features, I highly recommend the PropStream Academy. It's our free educational platform where we do have real estate courses you can check out, and a lot of them are for investors.
They're
But
very good too.
yeah, yeah, they're really awesome. But in particular, I just wanted to highlight like our live webinar replays. Monday through Friday, we do go through different subjects regarding the software, and that way you're able to see that, play it whenever you need to, and it really gives a great breakdown of all those features. So I'll put that in the chat for y'all. That way y'all can have that handy.
Yeah, they are very good.
Yeah,
Very good.
they're awesome, and I know I would I want to say, the majority of y'all are investors, but if you have any other um little real estate hats that y'all put on, we do cater to other real estate professionals in the field too. So you can definitely check out all those courses like Tim was saying and be able to check those out. But yeah, no, thank y'all so much for having me. I really appreciate y'all taking the time to learn more about PropStream and how you can use it to utilize and optimize your workflow and be able to have that ability of seeing that data in front of you, especially when you're already in the conversation with the homeowner, right? So I think the pre-analysis along with um, the analysis you do during the conversations with the homeowners are very vital, right? Being able to see if it's a good fit for you, and then also how you are able to speak and converse with the homeowner too. I think
We
someone
do
has,
have, Jonathan's got a
yeah.
question. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Jonathan.
Okay, I'm using my cell phone instead of my laptop. I was wondering on that pro trial, that includes the click to dial calling. Is that right?
For the pro subscription, yes.
Okay, and that includes during the trial period.
That is gonna be here. Let me put you on there. Let me go to pricing. Oh,
So
you
the
that.
the special offer for everybody while she's pulling that up is normally you get a 7-day free trial of
Mm-hmm.
PropStream, but because you attended this call today, and remember what I said, you got to call the office to get the details. You can get a 30-day free trial.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's a pretty sweet deal if you're serious about considering PropStream, but the action's on you. You have to text or email, call I'd rather you text or email just so that I have your name and then I will give you the detail how you get that offer. This is not going out to the public. That's why I'm not sharing it on here. This is
Mm,
just for you because you took action. You showed up.
exactly.
So,
Yep. Just like Tim said. Yeah, it's absolutely right. We in public wise, we only offer that 7-day free trial, but with awesome members like Tim, we want to make sure that you all are, set up for success and have, more time to be able to see how you can optimize your workflow with the software. So yeah, definitely take advantage of that, extra 23 days because that can mean
yep,
the difference between, feeling comfortable with the software versus feeling rushed and
exactly.
prolonging your success. So,
So,
Exactly.
hey Ari, what
Mhm.
if we have the essentials subscription, can we
Mhm.
try the 30-day free for pro and try it out?
So if by chance, Tim, if you just have like, I'm not, the partner team didn't specify how it works for your 30-day trial, but if anything, if Tim's link isn't working for you or it's only in terms of having a trial, what you can do, Sal, is call into our support group and just let them know, like, hey, I went to Tim's PropStream demo. He was offering us a 30-day trial. Let them know and they'll just apply free, like 30 free days on your account, okay?
And so we can go from essentials to the pro subscription for the 30-day trial, you're saying?
So it would just add 30 days. If you were wanting to try out the pro, then what you would do is I think it would have to be, I would say prorate. I honestly, that is a customer success question because they would deal with how that works on your account that already exists. I know if you were just wanting to keep like on the essentials plan with the free 30 days, it would just be applied to the account. I'm not too certain of where that goes in terms of wanting to go up and upgrading your account. I think you
All
would
right,
have to pay
all
the
right,
difference.
is the free trial typically the essentials account or the pro account?
It's the essentials.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
So if you'll
gotcha.
if you'll send me an email with the question
Okay,
with details, I'll be happy to go see what I can do for you.
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Okay,
Yeah, on
I don't mean to rush everybody off the call here, but I have another appointment that I need to go to. One more question and then we have to go. I don't mean to be rude, but I do have to go.
No,
Okay,
no.
what does it mean by the 50 free leads? Is that like if I access 50 property cards, the trial's over, or is it exporting 50 contacts, then the trial's
So
over?
that I wouldn't worry about that, Jonathan, because y'all are gonna get the 30 free days. And so what that is gonna be the essentials plan. You're gonna have the 25,000 saves and exports.
Okay, I just wonder what it meant by with 50 free leads. Uh,
Just in terms of like how many properties you can save into a list and then how many you can export. But like I was saying, that
oh,
does,
okay.
yeah, it won't pertain to you because y'all will have the 30-day trial. So you'll have 25,000 leads to export and save as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank y'all so much for having me.
All right, thank you
Tim,
so
thank
much.
you.
Yep, you're
Good
very
luck in
welcome.
everyone's
Thank
day.
you,
Have a
Ari.
great day. And yeah, definitely check out the link if y'all have any feedback for me.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.